What's up, you guys? I'm back with another Facebook shop tutorial, as my latest one did so well and you guys had a bunch of questions that I had to answer. So if you're wondering how to create a Facebook shop, how to optimize it, should you create one based on the business model that you're in, and also how to send traffic to it, stick around and don't forget the timestamps are all in the description below. So let's jump right into it. So I'm right here into the Commerce Manager account. So the link that you have to go to is facebook.com/commerce_manager. And then right here on the site, you're gonna have to pick the business page that you're trying to create this for. Now, you have to understand a few things. As Facebook kind of evolves and they try to move into this ecosystem and they try to put everything under one umbrella, their entire goal is basically to have this entire tool, because Facebook Shop is essentially a tool that allows you to sell everything under one umbrella, like I said, right? So they want to make sure that you can add products, you can add services, you can add digital products and a lot of things like that. But stick around until the end, because I'm going to explain to you exactly, based on the business model that you're in, if you should or should not create a Facebook shop at this point in time in April of 2021, right? Because it's a big difference if you're selling services versus e-commerce products versus digital courses, right? So very, very important. Stick around until the end, and I'm going to share with you exactly what to do in each step of the way. So back to my screen. Again, I'm here at facebook.com/commerce_manager, and you're going to see a button that says add shop, but it's crucial if you manage multiple pages, it's crucial to only select the one that you're trying to add the products in. Now, again, it'll be a difference if you want to do this for services, products versus digital products. So first things first, we're going to have to click this button that says add shop. And the moment we get here, Facebook tells us like, this is how it looks on Instagram and this is how it looks on Facebook. These two are different. Facebook shop is essentially attached to your business page. Instagram shop is essentially attached to your business profile. However, as you can probably know, if you don't know, I'm happy to share with you, Instagram does not have, the ability to have your personal account and have a business side of things. You essentially have to create as many accounts as you need for multiple businesses, if you have multiple businesses, right? So for example, I have my personal brand. So my personal brand Instagram account, it's connected to essentially a shop, and then I can add digital products if I want to from a Shopify account, right? And then I integrate that with my business account. Now, if I'm planning to do this for my e-commerce business, where I'm selling some pet products, some dog products, that one can be a standalone Instagram account and a standalone business page that also has attached a Facebook shop to it, right? So just to make sure that you understand the difference. Now, as Facebook evolves and they want to keep all of this entire ecosystem under one umbrella, they want to make sure that you can also process payments within the Facebook shop platform, so you don't only rely on Shopify, funnels, WooCommerce, or other platforms like this. You want to make sure that businesses can do this within their own platform. So what I'm going to do, because I already have an actual shop, I'm going to create a test shop here, but it's the same exact process. The only thing that you will do different is you'll add an actual bank account number and your tax ID, right? I don't have to add these because this is a test account, but essentially the steps are completely the same. So you wouldn't create a test account. You would essentially create right here, you'll just hit next. However, I advise you to actually create a test account first, just to go through this process. So I hit this button that says create a test shop. And then super simple, I just hit next again. Right here, of course, we have to set up our business information. So I'm gonna hit test and I just say Marian personal, actually not personal brand, Marian e-commerce product. Gonna hit next. It's gonna ask me to create a test Facebook page. So I can do this, or essentially if you already have one, if you create a test Facebook shop, it's going to ask you to create a Facebook page. But if you actually create an actual Facebook shop, so not a test one, but a real one, it won't ask you to do this unless you want to integrate it with your personal business page already. So I'm just going to hit this brand or product. I'm just going to mention it e-commerce product or products. Category, I'm going to say this is, let's say it's toys. I'm going to hit create page. And right now we essentially have the Facebook page here, and it's going to ask us to link it up. I'm just going to hit next. So again, if you're in the process of creating a real shop, a real Facebook shop, it would give you the option to choose from whatever the business pages that you already have. So as you can see in here, it asks me to link up the test account to my business manager account. So you also need a Facebook business manager in order to do this. And he says you cannot create business manager account, cannot be a test account. It has to be a real one. So I'm going to pick from one in here, one that I know I'm not necessarily going to use at this moment in time. So I'm going to use an old agency account. I'm going to hit finish setup. So again, if you don't know how to create a Facebook business manager, I'm going to put a link in the description below with a tutorial on how to do that completely from scratch. So now I'm going to hit finish setup. So business information, it's all set. Now we go to step 2, which is set up your inventory and shipping preferences. So I'm going to hit get started. Of course, it's our test catalog. So if you do the real one, it's going to say the name of the catalog itself. I'm going to say this is just standard shipping. Just going to save it, estimated. So it even says in here, estimated days to delivery. You're responsible for shipping items within 3 business days from when an order was placed. I'm just going to put it 2 or 1 and maximum 3 days. Just going to hit save. Now, if you have expedited shipping, of course, you can choose this. If you have rush shipping. So again, as you can imagine, this is really referring to physical products, like actual products that you would ship to somebody's door. Now I'm going to hit next. You have to have a return policy. So normally, as you can even see in here, Facebook require a minimum window of 30 days, and you can always edit your refund policy in the future, but I'm going to say 30 days in here. And I'm going to say my customer service email is this one. I'm going to hit save. And now we have to set up payouts. So again, I know I've had a lot of questions from you guys asking what happens with all of the international Facebook pages. So this one refers to set up your payout settings with test bank information. So unfortunately, up until this point, Facebook, it's really struggling to really connect international business accounts. So if you're planning to process payments inside of the Facebook platform, I'll try to keep you guys updated as these days go on to see if they do a better job. But I've had some people asking what's going on, why us international people, people from all across US, people from all across the world, Australia, Europe, UK, India, Afghanistan, I've had people asking in the comments from all over the world, being upset at the fact that the bank information from international bank accounts do not allow them to process directly on Facebook. And, to the best of my knowledge, at this point in time, it's still not completely internationally recognized. However, what you can do is you would need either a WooCommerce account or a Shopify account and process your payments through their payment integration. So essentially, if you have, let's say, Stripe, or if you process through PayPal, or if you process through whatever your local payment processor is, as long as it integrates with either WooCommerce or Shopify, you will be able to integrate that platform as a third-party integration with Facebook Commerce Manager. The only downside to that is now you have to pay WooCommerce monthly subscription and also or Shopify monthly subscription. So unfortunately, there's no other workaround at this point in time. However, I'll keep you guys updated with any information that gets released in the future. So right now, I'm just going to hit get started. It's going to ask me for a business address. So I'm just going to write a test one. This is in Medford. I'm going to put my other email, which is this one. I'm gonna select the state. I'm gonna put Massachusetts, but it doesn't really matter in here. Just gonna hit next. The business category is, let's see, we have artist supply, craft shop, art dealers. All right, so I'm gonna choose hobby, toy, and game shops. I'm gonna hit next. Of course, the state tax registration number. Now, this one says optional, and even says in here, businesses selling in the US must register to charge sales tax based on their connection or nexus to individual states. So of course, every state has its own rules. Every state has its own tax kind of benefits and tax percentage that they charge. And then it's up to you to determine whether you need to register with them or not. Meaning, this is almost like a disclaimer. Facebook doesn't really care if you do it because it's optional in here. However, you may get taxed at your own expense. So if you're just getting started, if you're not sure where your business has nexus, skip this step for now because you can always come back in the future. So if you don't know in your country if you need to register or not, you can just skip for now because you can always come back, which is a good thing, right? So you can hit next. So now it's going to ask us tax information. So again, I'm going to put in here, it's a corporation. I'm going to say that it's an e-commerce products because it's a test shop. It doesn't really matter. Just going to put my name, representative date of birth. I'm going to just put a fake one, but you have to put a real one because it's going to be connected with your information. And I'm going to hit next. So now it's going to ask you to link your bank. This is the thing that a lot of people were struggling with international bank accounts. And some people said that they're still not able to do it. So unfortunately, again, at this point in time, there's no other way to work around this other than integrate it with Shopify or WooCommerce, right? Now, what's cool, they're just in April here, so there's no selling fee all the way to June 30th. I guess it's Facebook's way to give back to the local business community and small business sector. I'm going to name the bank account as test. I'm going to finish setup, and boom. Now we actually set up the business side of things. Now we can go to the commerce manager to actually add the products, add collections, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So let's go to commerce manager. So as you can see, always pay attention on the left, especially if you manage multiple businesses, multiple business pages, and multiple Facebook Business Manager accounts. Always make sure you are in the right type of account, right? And it even says in here, managing a test account, some features may not be available. And this is the message that you want to see. Your commerce account has been approved. So, keep that in mind. If it's something wrong with it, they're going to let you know, and you can see it right there on top. And right now we are able to add items to our Facebook shop. And of course, in here, you'll be able to see all the, catalog items that you have, how many orders are being on the way to be shipped, how many returns requests you have, how many open disputes, fulfillment locations, like if you have places that you need to fulfill all kinds of different things, orders and such, you would go to location settings and set up that location to be ready to receive orders and also ship them out at the right time. And then of course in here we have get started with dynamic ads, so you can start running ads that automatically promote your most relevant problems. We'll see if they allow us to do this for a test account, but as of right now, let's just go real quick in here and add some items. So we would call this, so we can add it manually, upload bulk if you have multiple products within the same category, or you can use a pixel. But the pixels thing, it's still up in the air as of right now because of the whole Facebook versus Apple war that's happening. So we have to actually avoid use a pixel at this point in time. We'll see in a few months if that situation changes. So right now we can add it manually. We're just going to hit next. And voila, we're right here into our Facebook shop product section. So they say in here, your image needs to be at least 500 by 500 pixels. So what we can do is we can go to Canva. and we can go to templates, and let's see if Canva already has Facebook shop templates. And then if they don't, we can just create a 500 by 500 pixels. So let's see if they have Facebook shop ads. Let's see what kind of ads. No, so it doesn't work for this one. Let's create a design custom size, and we'll call it 500 by 500. Make sure it's pixels in here, not inch, millimeters, or centimeters, or whatever. So canva.com, it's a free tool. You click right here, create new design. And of course, it's going to pull up a bunch of different options that we can also choose from. This is almost like a logo, so I'll show you real quick, right? Door Beach High School. So we'll just call this e-commerce products, right? This, you can see how easy it is to make your product covers. So I'm just going to download this, make sure it's PNG. I'm just going to download the product. I'm going to go back to the shop itself. See that it says drag and drop to upload, so I can drag it and boom, drop it in here. I'm going to call it e-commerce product 1. And of course, description, you can be creative a little bit and add a little more description to the actual product. Now, quick thing, website link. If you're wondering, well, what do I even have to add this? So in case you have a third-party integration, this is where you would add it. Right here where it says website link. It asks you about the price of the product. So very important, if you have an integration with Shopify or WooCommerce, you write the exact amount that you have in those places, because if not, it's potentially like the integration may look a little bit fuzzy if you don't match the right type of price. I'm just going to put $6.97, for example. And I'm not, yes, if you want to do a sell, you can mention, you can check this box in here. It says this item is on sale and what's the sell price, right? I'm not going to check it now. We're going to mention it as being, let's see, hobby. Do we have hobby in here? We don't. So I'm just going to main accessories. It's not a clothing, it's clothing accessories, let's say. Condition, so it's brand new. Now, if you have SKUs that you have to, let's assume you use fulfillment by Amazon or something like that, or if you actually have a warehouse, a separate warehouse, or even if you do it yourself, you can add SKUs right here. So when an order gets placed, you actually, do it properly. So now I'm going to hit next. It's going to ask me how many items do I have available in my inventory for this. I'm going to make it visible, available, and I'm going to say I have 100 products in stock for this item. I'm going to hit next. Now, of course, based on what type of category you select, it's going to ask you all kinds of different things. As you can see in here, it says, because I choose clothes, accessories, now it asks me for the style. But of course, all of these are optional. Age group, like, is it all ages? Is, like, if you select a different kind of category, it's not going to ask you all of this, but for some of them, they will. I'm going to say it's blue. And I'm going to say this is only for male. So of course, if I have a t-shirt that I'm selling or some sort of scarf or a hat or whatever, I can choose between male, female, unisex or whatever. And then in here, I can even explain like, hey, this is made out of this material. Or if you're selling some baby products that you have to disclose what's the product made of, you make all of those descriptions right here, like material, pattern, size, and all of these other things. But if you see them as optional, you don't have to worry about them. It's not mandatory to list them in here. So I'm going to still hit next. If you have a tax category that you have, of course, you would choose from these. So let's see if it's, so it's not based on state. It's actually based on the product itself. So let's say for clothes, so I got Facebook. This is used to calculate the amount of sales tax payable on this product. Yeah, so for clothing, I'm gonna do this one. So for example, because I'm located in Mass, people that are purchasing from all over the world, because I'm in here, I can apply a sales tax based on the type of products that I'm selling. So I'm gonna hit next. It asks me, do you want to create variants? So because I choose, again, clothing accessories, I can choose different variations of the product. So if I have a t-shirt, maybe the t-shirt is one variation is in blue, another variation is in black, another variation is in, I don't know, red or whatever. So now I can do all different ages, right? Ages 10 to 14 or ages 10 to 12. It's a different size versus 18 to 22, for example, right? So you get the point in here. You will just get those things based on the category that you're selling into. So I'm gonna hit finish, and it's telling me variations are the same in your account, such as different sizes. Are you adding variants? If not, you can skip this step. So I'm gonna hit skip this step. Let's see if it, oh, it doesn't allow me. Add this item as a variant of another item. Okay, so let's see one variant. So let's say color. So I'm gonna do black, and this is enable any difference in price if I want to. I'm gonna say no. So I'm gonna hit finish, and now I'm gonna hit finish again. Consider reforming item description to avoid all uppercase letter. Okay, so I see what's the problem in here. I'm gonna go back into the description. So they said they don't like all caps. So I'm gonna say e-commerce product description 1. All right, so now we go at the end, and we're gonna hit finish. And these two products, now remember, it's not essentially two products, it's one product with two variations, because I made it as blue and then also in black, right? So I can add another item, or I can just close it to show you what it looks like. So if you click on it, essentially I have, it even says in here, this is the one product, but it has one variation in black, in blue, and I could have added as many as I wanted to, right? It doesn't have to be just this one. Now, of course, once you create one, it's gonna have to, like, it'll take a little bit of a, I would say a few days for the shop to, you know, to go through a couple of sales and for you to see where is it missing something. Like, do you have to add more things to the description? Do you have to add, right? So it's a little bit of a, I would say, learning curve for the first few days, if not even 2 weeks. But you get the point in here. As in anything that it's brand new, you're gonna have to do this. So now let's go to what it's a way for you to actually promote your Facebook shop. Because if you just create it, of course, organically, it's not just gonna happen. However, what you can do is every time when you make a post, you can tag your products in the same post. Therefore, you know, the people that are reading the product, they're able to actually see the product that you tagged, and they can click on it and purchase it on the spot. But we have this option here that says ads. So what you can do is, see that it asks us, you can get started with traffic ads, and it says in here you need to add at least 4 items to your catalog in order to run ads. Okay, so let's add 2 more products real quick. We're gonna add manually so we're gonna go back to Canva, which is right here. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna duplicate this one, and I'm gonna make it in, let's see, this blue. I'm gonna download page 2 just so you can see exactly how we're doing it. And I'm gonna go back in here and choose, actually no, not choose, I'm just gonna drag and drop it, and I'm gonna say e-commerce product 2, and I'm copying this and pasting in the description and say product description. I'm gonna go a little bit quicker on this one. I'm gonna say it's new, hit next. I'm gonna make this one $7. You're gonna have to choose a category, clothing and accessories, and then I'm gonna say it's clothing accessories. I'm gonna hit next. We have 50 of these in stock. I'm gonna hit another next. We're not gonna do, let's say this is female, and let's say we put all ages, and I'm gonna say clothing and I'm gonna hit next. We're not gonna, actually we have to add variants to be able to have, so let's say color, we're gonna do red, pink, and blue. And I'm gonna say finish. And now let's hit close, and we should be able to run ads now because we have more than 4 products. Boom, yes. So as you can see in here, we got traffic ads and we got dynamic ads. So let's do traffic ads, and we can hit this button that says create ad. So let's see if it allows us to create a test account. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna hit next. And I'm not gonna use, so let's see, usually they actually try to, oh no, so I thought they're gonna put me through their way of doing, I think it's like an Facebook ad express method, and I don't like that because usually they plug in a bunch of different things that you can't really optimize, like location and audience and things like that. So I'm gonna do campaign objective traffic. Now, usually every time when I do a Facebook ad campaign, what I do is I create a Facebook video view campaign, and then I retarget people that watch at least 15 seconds of that video with traffic ads. But for the sake of this purpose, we're gonna have to do a traffic one. Otherwise, we're not gonna be able to tag the shop in the ad itself. So that's why we have to choose this purpose. So I'm gonna hit next. Ad set name, the way that I like to tag these, the way that I like to name the ad set is essentially the audience that you're trying to reach. So just keep that in mind for any future. So let's say the audience is US, let's say it's US male between 18 and 45 years old. Boom, right? And that's pretty much what it is. We're not going to do any creative dynamic for now. Daily budget, I would suggest right at first, start anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks a day. Don't go higher than that in budget until you get one campaign to actually start performing. And then of course you can scale that. At first, I always like to start the actual campaign with at least 5 to 10 creatives, meaning 5 to 10 different ads within the same campaign that promotes the same product, but it just has a different image, right? So daily budget, 20 bucks at first. And of course now our product, so let's assume our product is geared towards men. Now I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna want to target men between the ages of 18 to 45. And let's assume I want some sort of, all right, so here's what I like to use. One of the, in my opinion, especially for Facebook shop ads, this is one of the most powerful features. So it says Facebook payments users 30 days. So, and in the description it says people who have used Facebook payments in the past 30 days, meaning people that have already made purchases within the Facebook platform, meaning they have a credit card stored. Do I want to target them? Well, hell yeah, because it's exactly who I want, right? Like I want a Facebook payment user, which is a buyer essentially. It's not just a person that scrolls for, all kinds of different other reasons. Now, other demographics or interest, or depending what you're trying to do, is you can also go into interest. So if it's something related to shopping and fashion, so clothing, because we had some clothing, so let's assume we sell, like I selected in the Facebook shop the t-shirts. I'm gonna put people that have shown interest in men's clothing, and they also are a buyer, and on top of that they're men between the ages of 18 and 45. Well, guess what, these are pretty decent targeting methods. Now, at first, I would say don't go automatic unless you do retargeting. And with retargeting, it's going to be a little bit different, especially now with Facebook versus Apple thing. So take this with a grain of salt. And, you know, I would say don't go automatic for now. Just start the ad initially just on Facebook. And when you start, and actually you can do it on Instagram too, as long as your shop it's approved for Instagram. But if not, just start with Facebook ads first, and then we'll go from there. Because even Facebook itself has a lot of different things, but I always deselect marketplace. I always deselect video feeds if I don't have a video. So because if it's a product and you're just going to use a photo, you're not going to be able to do video feeds, of course. All right, so I'm going to leave it in Facebook group feeds because I want that. I don't want the right column because if it, you know, it just doesn't make sense unless it's retargeting. I don't want Facebook stories for now unless it's retargeting. I don't want in-stream. I want search. I want when people are searching for stuff. I don't want in article, so I always deselect that unless it's a retargeting ad. And then I hit next. And of course, in here, we're gonna have to enter the website URL, but we're gonna add that in just a moment here. So see that it's asking us if we wanna use an image or if we wanna use a video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add the image that we used for the product. However, I'm usually a big fan of, instead of just promoting the product itself, always have a discount offer on top of it. So it's a much better approach, especially if you sell e-commerce. So it says asset customization ads require a link. Please complete the field to continue. So we would say primary text. So in the primary text, we're going to need some sort of, actually, let me change the Facebook page because it shows as my wife's page. So let's see if we can use, I'm just going to use the dog product that I'm using. So a couple different things in here. Essentially, in the ad setup, it asks you if you want to use the existing post. So if you made a post about the product itself, let's say you have some sort of cool description with an offer or something like that, and then you tag the product itself in that post, you can use the existing post as the actual ad. Therefore, you don't have to put a link itself. So let's say we go in here and we select the post that we want to target. So in here, you can obviously change the post or create a new one. But essentially, because we have traffic, we're going to have to use the actual link for the product itself, right? So let's assume primary text, we would just do the offer. I would just name it in here, product offer. Of course, this is not the actual text that you use, but I just write it in here. Let me just put it in brackets so you can actually remember. So product offer, describe the actual offer of the product, and then the headline can say get 50% off, limited time offer. Okay. And then description itself, now you present the benefits of the product, and then usually I would close it with the description. Or another thing that I like to use in here is testimonials. So 5-star review, whatever, somebody that gave you an actual testimonial. So let's put in brackets this product, or just product description. Now, if I'm doing straight up a traffic campaign, I would do the button that says get offer, because it's a traffic, so it goes straight to the product itself. So because of that, I would have to actually do the get an offer button. Usually if I do a lead campaign where I just try to collect emails, you know, name, email, phone numbers and things like that, I could do learn more or sign up and things like that. But if it's an e-commerce product and I wanna send traffic to that product, I would do get offer. Okay, so I would do that. And then if you're wondering, okay, but what kind of product should I put for this? I would go back to the Facebook shop itself, and I can just copy the link of the Facebook shop product. So let's go real quick into the Facebook Commerce Manager. Let's see if we find the shop that we created already. So I think we use it for, I think it's called test or something like that. All right, so once I'm in the product itself, in the shop, I would click on the product that I want to promote. And now, because this is a test shop, as you can see in here, the website link says, just Facebook.com. But essentially, when you create the shop, the real shop, the link in here, it's going to be the actual link of the product directly. So what you would do is you actually copy the link from here, and then you go back to your ad, and I would just paste it in there. And of course, you can preview to make sure that it goes straight to exact link to the product that you want. All right. And pretty much that's what it is. The other thing, it says in here, display link optional. Display link is, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can just have all the way, you can have the link all the way up to / so you don't want to have that ugly long URL. So you're just going to copy that, delete it, and then leave it like that. But again, this is just optional, you don't have to. Now, it also tells me in here, I got to verify the change because I don't have a payment method for this because it's a test account. So of course, once you create the actual business manager account, and again, I'll put the link in the description below so you can check it out, but you need to have a valid payment method for this. Now, I told you at the beginning of this video that I'm gonna explain to you if you need to create a Facebook shop based on the business model that you're in. So here's what it is. If you have an e-commerce product, basically it's a physical product, or if you are a retail shop, even if you're a brick and mortar shop, but you're selling physical products, you need to jump on Facebook shops because at the end of the day, it's free exposure for you. Facebook actually pushes it into the organic searches, in the organic reach. Therefore, you want to jump on as soon as possible. However, if you're selling digital products or if you're selling services, as of right now, this moment in April of 2021, Facebook does not allow you to add, individual quote unquote services or digital products as a standalone item inside of a Facebook shop unless you have a third-party integration with Shopify or WooCommerce. So keep that in mind. If you're selling digital products like ebooks, courses, and all kinds of other stuff like that, you're not going to be, or if you're selling services like one-on-one coaching and things like that, you can still create a Facebook shop, but it's going to be listed. So you have to create a Shopify account or a WooCommerce account, add the services or add the ebooks onto those places, and then you integrate it with the Facebook shop account. And again, in the description below, I leave the full playlist available for you where you can see how to actually create the integration between a third-party software like Shopify and WooCommerce within the Facebook shop platform. All right. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you liked this tutorial, or if you have any other questions, feel free to put them down below. I'll probably do a follow-up if I get a lot of questions again from you guys. But don't go anywhere, because in the video coming up right here on the screen, I actually put a full tutorial. It's a full crash course on Facebook ads and how to apply it for your online business, retail, or straight on a Facebook shop. So don't go anywhere. Watch the next video coming up. I think you'll enjoy it.